Hello and welcome. This is Ultimate Virtual, Season 6, Round 4, here at the Innsbruck Ring for what should be a cracking race. First ever time we visited this circuit in the league. And here is your standard 3 minutes of qualifying. It's a very interesting track. The teams haven't quite figured this one out because it's got a lot of very high speed sections, there's no doubt about that. Particularly working our way through the middle sector. But then, right sort of at the end of the back straight, which I'll constitute as whatever comes after turn 1, this bit here, you've got some very twisty type parts of the track, and that could really hurt you if your car is not built with decent acceleration and the like in mind. So, should be interesting to see just how this transpires. We'll take a look now at the stuff. So, here's the team overview and the upgrades for you to cast your eyes at. Not much for you to cast your eyes at. There's only about 2 successful upgrades. So 8 teams running their cars as they were in Monaco last time out, run by the Pappy Pops racing team that still only have 1 speed level. That is 2 behind the average. Interestingly, BFX have not spent any tokens, but now have what is quite clearly the second fastest car. That is interesting information. I do like to meme them for being at the bottom of the constructors at the moment, but they have not spent any tokens, and now their car is quite considerably faster relative to the grid than it was before. PPT gives an interesting insight. 13 for Thunder X, 11 for Furia. Doing really well, both those teams. Furia getting a lot of tokenless points. This is one of their best seasons on record. They look to have been building every season as the gap closes relative to teams. Let me switch down to fastest laps. But they're really doing nicely this season. They seem to be properly establishing themselves in the upper midfield due to that speed advantage that they have, even if the rest of the stats are a bit lackluster. So, when push comes to shove, we're going to get one final lap, it looks like. Todd Sod is our effective qualifying leader, although track position doesn't normally mean much. But we've got Grandy on provisional pole. Todd Sod in 4th. He's yet to really hit the top marks for FGR. He did get pole position. Can't quite remember where. But like his predecessors, he'll be hoping to not lose his seat, or unlike them rather. A couple of improvements there. Corvid up, Caddo also up. But not too much across the grid. We'll bring you the starting grid, well, right now. Starting on pole position is our championship leader, Grandy. Rito, former champion, starts in 2nd. Bluebell starts in 3rd. That's a highly decorated front 3. Echoes back to seasons gone by where these 3 fighting at the front. Season 1, 2, 3. I could go on. Corvid starts 4th for Furia Roja. 5th is Todd Sod. 6th is Fox. 7th is Caddo. 8th is Pit Crew. 9th is Abva. And 10th is Shiloh. Somehow I made it. It's a rebrand for Bloodnator and a rebrand for SFR. Just as it was at the start of the season with their name, they're running a new livery with some gold and silver detailing at the back, really giving the car a nice little highlight, and he's returned to his original name in the Virtuals in pursuit of better luck, so we wish him all the best with that. Vaporeon starts 12th ahead of Goose, then it's Andres, who's yet to score points for BFX, not a great start to life with the pink and blue team. Eurus ahead of former teammate Kubo. Menica, our winner last time out, Suicide, starts in the more normal position for Pappy Pops down in 18th, then it's Anti, and Pappy himself starting last. Here are your tokens for today. Fox spends 3 tokens. He'll start in 6th position. Rito spends 2 tokens. He starts on the front row. Grandy spends 2 tokens. He starts on pole position. We've got Todsod spending 4 tokens. He'll start 5th, behind the tokenless Corvid, who is still yet to spend tokens this season. I've said the word tokens a lot. I'll say it more. Vaporeon spends 3 tokens. He spent 2 last time, didn't finish in the points. Spends 3 today. Hopefully that'll be enough. But it is risky. 3 is probably a good balance, because 4 you sort of need to win a race for it to pay off, really. 3 you could reasonably get sort of 5th or 6th and not be that disappointed, because you still have got a decent all of points. At the end of the day, it all fits into a sort of longer season plan. Kado spends 2 tokens, starts... Where is Kado? There he is, 7th. And then finally, Bluebell spending 3 tokens, starts all the way down in 3rd. Terrible position. But that is 1, 2, 3, 7 drivers spending tokens, but all of them spending 2 or more. And only 3 spending 2, 2 spending 3, 1 spending... Oh no, 3 spending 3, 1 spending 4. Yeah. Finally, we'll take a look at the standings coming into this race. Grandy, as I mentioned before, our championship leader. Todsod took... he took the fastest lap in Jeddah. My apologies, not pole position. What else? Grandy has been in top 4 every race so far. That looks to continue with his 2 tokens spent today and his pole position. Anti is 2nd in the championship. He's our defending champion. Kado looking at a pretty good start to life. Well, pretty good start to the season with Team Velocity, looking to really get it going after quite a mediocre first season for the team, having come from the Furia Roja Academy. Or really, Velocity Academy through Furia Roja. And Shiloh with a great start, the rookie up in 4th place, tied with Abba, who is ever the dark horse of Ultimate Virtual. Suicide up to 6th position in the standings with a race win last time out. Whoopsie, that's not what I meant to press. And then we look at the Constructors. ThunderX have a healthy 35-point lead. There is more daylight between them and Velocity than there is between Velocity and Happy Pops down in 8th. Porsche and BFX struggling a little bit at the moment. SFR Maserati looking pretty decent, especially with their new colour scheme, up in 3rd position as it stands, tied between FVR and NSV. Fox right behind them. Maserati and Furia Roja tied ahead of them. Really, really tight pack in there. You've got, what is that? 5 teams separated by 5 points. That's going to change at the end of today. But how will it change? Well, let's find out. It's the first ever Austrian Grand Prix in Ultimate Virtual, and we're underway. Grandy starts on the soft compound tyres. Rito will start on the mediums. Grandy immediately gets off to a good start. Bluebell round the outside of his former employee and the man who used to share that team with him in the seats back in Season 2. Corvid in 4th position, immediately under pressure from Todsod. Fox goes up the inside of the Canadian. Can he make the move stick? Alpha's going to look to get involved there as well. Kado and Shiloh battling further back. Pit crew somehow made it going right round the outside. Good start from the Russian driver. Corvid, Todsod and Abva going 3 wide down the straight. Abva gets a better exit than the first 2. Meanwhile, it's a fight at the very back for the Pappy Pops racers. Grandy still leads. Bluebell has assumed 2nd position. It's very difficult to get an overtake going through the very technical first couple corners. Oh my god, the Pappy Pops guys have just killed each other. I think they've just taken each other completely off track. That is bizarre. Great start. We're going to have rain. Heavy rain on its way. Lots of drivers cutting the pit entry line, which is not very good decorum, but not illegal. Fascinating. Everyone will go for the full wets, I'm sure. Unless somebody fancies being a little bit quirky like that. Grandy, though, great start for him. ThunderX looking in control of yet another race. This would be his 10th win in Ultimate Virtual, which would be quite incredible. Fox looking every which way to try and get around the outside of Bluebell. Can he go up the inside as they head into the middle sector hairpin? He can, but with a little shove off, Rito and Todd sense their opportunity, and Todd goes sailing through on the Fijian driver, who looks to put pressure back on his old teammate. Rito and Bluebell have a very long and decorated history, and just as Bluebell, well, really comes in to replace the Polish driver, who was an integral part of the BFX glory, their championships that they won. In fact, just even starting right from this foundation of the team in Season 2, Bluebell and Rito, the initial teammates. Rito, of course, drafted to Comedy Racing the season before and very, very nearly took it all the way in the Drivers' Championship with them, did take it all the way to the Constructors. He takes it all the way down the inside of Todsod there, gets himself up into 3rd position. The drivers who started on harder compounds will have not reaped any benefits from that, to be honest, because we had immediate rain, and Grandy is absolutely pissing off down the road. Fox in another orange car is in 2nd place. He is spending 3 tokens, I think. But then you've got Rito, Todd, Bluebell, and Abva, Caddo, and then you've got the non-token spender of Pit Crew. Corvid somehow made it. Vaporeon really struggling still. I can't see him getting this far in the Porsche team. I mean, you wouldn't extend a driver for more than a season if they're spending this many tokens and just not getting the results from it. Somehow made it up the inside. They of course got speed -5 for both their roles after a general indication of a desire for a speed upgrade, with no actual rolls sent in the entire week. So that's great. Somehow made it up the inside of Vaporeon, back with that beautiful name, in that beautiful dark blue and gold Maserati. Side by side they go through the early part of the late part of the 1st sector, really, that is. They continue. Caddo chases down Pit Crew, gets a little bit shaky on the exit there, but he is much faster than the driver ahead. Can he forge a little move through the tightest part of the track? Inside of the final corner, it's going to be a drag race up the line. Looks like Pit Crew has it, but Caddo inches ahead and goes through turn 1, that nice open corner. Did take the position briefly, doesn't have it anymore. Back up the inside in this double left-hander, and Pit Crew is left no choice. Caddo gets his elbows out, gets the position. Great scrap going on here. Oh my god, is Grandy far ahead. Jesus. Yeah, fantastic scrap though. I mean, this is Fox. The HUD's all messed up, but it was Fox in 2nd all the way down. This is interesting. Both the Fox cars have come in for the slick tyres, and presumably everyone behind will do the same. The top 3 have stayed out, and Bluebell and Todsod were very much in a fight with the Fox cars and with Rito when those cars came into the pit lane. The track is now dry, so these drivers will be very much reaping the rewards, and this is going to be the very tricky final sector on wet tyres. You can see how much they're sliding around. That is a lot of time loss for these two. It would not surprise me at all if in this early stage of the race they got swallowed back up into the pack. It's Fox going through, it's Rita going through, it's Abva who does go through. Todsod and Bluebell will have to settle for 5th and 6th. They came in a lap too late. They've taken a harder compound to justify it, so they can go even longer and try and offset that loss, but not great for them. Bluebell looking to try and move on Todsod here. He's getting all a little squirrely into that corner. He just can't quite get the nerve to overtake the Canadian rookie. And who can blame him? Todsod's looked pretty okay so far this season. He's not been unimpressive. He scored tokenless point last time out in Monaco, which was a really nice thing to have for FBR. They do have a fast car this season, and he's walked into that car, and he's not physically walked into that car. That probably hurt quite a lot, but he's done well. He's done very well. Grandy has been reeled in by Fox. Fox, our constructors champion. Grandy very nearly was. It's my favourite stat to mention, but Thunder X led both championships every round from rounds 1 to 11 last season, and led neither of them by the time that round 12 was finished. Grandy does his personal best lap as he hears me shit talking his team. Fox in 2nd, Rito, then Abva, Todd, and then Bloobs. Pit Crew, we did have Bloobs with his personal best lap. That's still about a second. It's still about a second off the fastest lap overall. Yeah, Grandy has been managing the pace. Fox on the soft tyre, doing pretty well. Just going to briefly pull up the overview. Well, that's not the overview. This is the overview. Looking at these teams, Fox have had an okay start to the season. 7 points per token is the 4th best. It's not amazing, but it's alright. Looking at their car, it's pretty well rounded. They've got good turbo relative to other teams, apart from Porsche and BFX. And yeah, it's solid acceleration and grip stats, solid speed stat, but overall they are 1.4 behind the Thunder X. So it really is the case of, and as we can remember from the tokens, it is Fox with 3 tokens versus Grandy with the 2. Rito with the 2 also in here. Abva not with anything, which is puzzling how he's that high up. Have I messed up there? I don't think so. Bluebell with 3. That does explain why he is quite high up. Yeah, I don't know why Abva would be so high, actually. He's just had a good start. I'm sure he'll fall down eventually. If not, he's definitely getting driver of the day. He has this uncanny ability just to be able to like drive his way into a P5 with absolutely no explanation of how. Spending like 0 or 1 tokens. He's not doing any of that today. Todd with 4 is up in 4th. This is, I think, a good strategy for him and FVR. Because even with the good car that they have, they just need to grab those points when the opportunities arise. Lapping the backmarkers now, the leaders. Pappy is not making it easy for his countryman and fellow Canadian team owner, and he does get a penalty for his troubles. That's hilarious. That allows his teammate Suicide to catch him. It allows Rito to get past the both of them. Really nice little manoeuvres. He is on manoeuvres. Oh my god, but look at that. Todsod sniffing out an opportunity. Goes up the inside. Rito flies right back out the outside. But he's not got the grip through 1. Todsod is up into 3rd place on the hard compound tyre. Rito back up the inside. And we're going to have Rain and Grandy and Fox throughout 7/10 separated as we go on lap 1.5 of 5-1 here. This has been an enthralling bit of the race. As it is at the moment. Will these drivers come in? I am almost certain they will, because they do like a pit stop. I think most of the races so far this season have been won by drivers with upwards of 8 or 9 pit stops, which is pretty fucking mental. Grandy and Fox, wet versus Inter, and the clouds coming back as well. Will anyone risk a slick? No, Bluebell's seen the clouds coming back, had plenty of time to react, and he puts on a wet. Phenomenal. Pit crew puts on the soft. Good lad. Love to see that. So while pit crew's skating around on a very, very damp track, it's Fox v Grandy. Fox should have the clear advantage. Right round the outside he goes. He uses a bit of turbo to get that move done. He comes up on Goose, his old mate, who is getting in the way a little bit. Grandy is in. Fox stays out. Very interesting indeed. Todsod comes in a clear 3rd ahead of Rito. It's Bluebell then Adva. Pit crew will have been struggling for a lot of this lap, but he does have that soft tire on. We'll actually spot where he comes out. We've got Todd coming out, Rita coming up. Oh my god, the rain's back! And that plays massively into the hands of, unfortunately, not pit crew. Much as it pains me to say it. Bluebell did react in time to put on the wet. Pit crew will need to be in again anyways, but that has played most into the hands of Fox, who is sliding around on the inters, but slide no more he shall, for as by the time he hits turn 2, yes, the rain is here. And Grandy's back into the pit lane. He was 7 seconds behind. God knows how far it'll be by the time he comes out here. And it's going to be try again. What is this? Phenomenal. Rito goes for the Inter. Pit crew. No, he came in. That's so sad. I mean, he would have had to come in. You can't really drive in that much damp condition. But a wet is the wrong call. Abva has now fallen down to where he probably should be in 10th place. He's got Anti right behind him, actually, in the very, very nice SFR Maserati car. Kubo just behind them as well. Covid, Chiado, Rito, they're just scrapping it out. Fox has a lead of 14 seconds. Wow. Wow. They won the Constructors last season, which was kind of funny because nobody really noticed they were there for most of the season, apart from the fact they were just sort of lingering in the top 6 in the Constructors, and then they just scored enough points to beat everyone else's points totals, and that is, at the end of the day, all it is about, really. Grandy is into the pit lane. Fox has been able to extend an extra lap just because of how sexy his tyres are. Grandy puts on the hard, so he's not really going to make up any... His only hope now is... I mean, he was... Rito was helped massively by sort of a couple of periods of rain in which it massively went in his favour. Season 4 finale, where he just about clutched the Drivers' Championship, 24 points behind Grandy. Let's not forget that Grandy bottled a 24-point championship lead over Rito in Season 4. As much as we talk about him bottling last season, he has done it twice. And Season 1, if you want to count that. He was in contention coming to the last race, but he was no longer favourite. It was actually Julian or Rito bottled it at that point. I think that Rito was the championship leader, and he bottled it to Jurist McProl. Fox puts on the soft. He is now a lap ahead of his teammate, who is still running a very respectable 11th position. Grandy is 14 seconds behind. He has a much faster car, 1.4 index. However, and this is a big however. That doesn't matter. Oh my god, more rain. Blimey. Well, Grandy puts in his personal best lap. It's going to be a long old race, I'll tell you that much. These AI are driving around the circuit slower than you might expect. But Fox is into the pit lane. Todsod is so far behind the race leader already due to Fox's magnificent luck. Fox puts on the Inter. Is Grandy just going to firm it? Is he going to stay out? Will the clouds even be back by the time that he passes pit entry? I don't think so. He will go. No, he's not going in. That is a good idea. Unless the rain now comes back. But actually, he's going to be slow. Let's see if Todd can catch him. Todd was quite close to him after the last round of stops. Bluebell's doing well now. Massively fallen off is Rito. He is now a good few seconds back from Toddus. We got Sun coming. Grandy sticked out. Todd's made a couple seconds on him. We'll compare the lap times at the end of this lap because this is a full lap of wet running. But the laps are quite long. So we'll just have to wait and see. This lap time has been quite slow from Grandy. A 37.43 and Todd with a 32.28. That is a lot faster. We're going to have dry conditions. There is little doubt of that. So all of these interrunners will need to be in, which is unfortunate because Todd has made up a pit stop gap on Grandy. Grandy, yeah, you know what? I'll hand it to him. I will. Because he was 2 stops behind Fox, then went down to 1 stop, then with the pace that he lost, I think he would have probably actually been in about the same position had he just come in for the Inter. Because with the pace that he lost about a pit stop's worth of time anyways, both on Todd and Fox. But now he's back in. Sorry, he's still out. And Fox has now pitted, but Fox is on a much fresher soft to Grandy's hard. So Grandy will be in soon. His best hope is rain right now, and that means that his gap will only be about 7 or 8 seconds. And then he just needs it one more time, and he's in the lead of the race, as it were. Because he did look to have the better pace early on, despite Fox reeling him in. Grandy had a really nice start. 8 seconds back he is. That gap will continue to grow. I don't have much doubt. Fox in complete control of this race. And hilariously, they've both done the same number of pit stops now. It's just the timing that counts. Todd has done 2 more stops and he is still in a very valiant 3rd position. 4 token spend. Yeah, good idea. He's on to score 16 points. 4 points per token is not phenomenal. But you'd rather have the points than not have the points, I suppose. If you risk sort of 2 token spends and you're scoring 8 points between those, getting a bit unlucky with some sort of, you know, P8s and P9s, it's better, or like, you know, heaven forbid, as he sets up the new fastest lap on the medium, great lap. Heaven forbid, like Vaporeon, who at the moment is now in the points, but last race was not, despite spending 2 tokens, if I hadn't mentioned that already. Todd is in a little bit of a Pappy Pops, what was I going to say? Pappy Pops Fest. Not really the right word for it, is it? Oh my god. And Grandy improves his personal best time. Todders is chasing him down. Newer, softer, fresher tyres. He reels in the man who is looking to finally secure his first World Championship. Taking it away from the defending champion Anti, who, of course, and I've yet to mention this is his track. This was his selection. For those unaware, in Ultimate Virtual, the World Champion gets a choice of the circuit every single season. The reigning World Champion, that is. And Anti chose this. It's rare, and I believe the first time that we've had a driver not choose a home circuit. So this is not a home race for the defending champ. It is a track that he put a lot of love and care into, refined by others. Pamucius, who was a former JV driver, I think, or CV. I think it was in JV East at some point. And Nuno, who's never been in the VLs, but is our faithful AI line man. Yeah, this was his thing. So Grandy has been passed by Todsod. I'm sorry, we didn't see that. Todd is now up at 2nd place. Will he go for the lead? Well, will he try? Yes. Will he get it? Difficult to say, but no. not at the moment at least. Fox will continue out on those softs. Todd's medium's looking in better knack at the moment. He's got a 4 tokens man versus Fox's 3. He's got a decently fast, and I'll return to the team overview for this. He's got a decently fast FVR car that has a index score of 3.8. Fox's has a 3.5. And Grandy's Thunder X has a lot quicker than that, but he's had the bad luck so far this race. He's been fighting for wins a lot of the time on 2 token spends, definitely in Jeddah, where he, won. And of course Monaco is very close to doing so. Who have we got? Just Andrew's coming to the pit lane. Yeah, nobody really cares about that. Indeed. So yeah, the 2 tokens spend not working the same charms. It's sort of more reminiscent of the Adelaide race where he could only manage 4th place. That's only finished off the podium so far this season. We might see another one today. Rito currently running in 5th. It's Caddo in 6th. Yeah, he's running a decent little race. It's 2 tokens spent. He's just come into the pit lane, so he'll leapfrog Rito when Rito does come in off some pretty old hards, but he'll need a bit of luck in order to get back into a good position in this race. Meanwhile, Fox has come in. He is out just a little bit ahead of Todd. This would be the perfect time for some rain. Bluebell has now gone past Grandy. Grandy did come into the pit lanes. That does make sense. But if it rained now, this would be anyone's race. Yet it will not rain for FVR. Do not get good luck like that. Bluebell laps his teammate. I'm sure that's not the first time that he's lapped him so far this race. It is indeed the second. But Todd putting some decent lap times. He's in now. And he will slap on some new tyres. Let's have a look at the rest of the points runners. So Bluebell will actually not inherit P2. It'll be nip and tuck. As he heads into turn 1, he's got a lot of speed, but he's not got the position. Todd Pitts comes out ahead of Bluebell, who is on old hards. Grandy has yet to really make inroads on the Fijian. This could be an outside shot at a Bluebell podium. That will be his first points of the season for BFX. Doesn't look like Andrew's on course to score any, so Bluebell will have to pick up the slack for them. Up the inside of Todd, he does go. Todd fights around the outside. What's Todd's response going to be to this? Because he does have much fresher tyres. Up the inside of the final corner, that was nice and easy actually, but Bluebell does have the straight line speed. Gets through. Ahead. Oh no, he gets held up by pit crew. Todd Sod just looking to stay in touch with him at the moment. Through a very tricky part of the track they go. Left-hander there, Todd Sod takes a bit of grass. He's not going to stay ahead of Bluebell for the time being. Through that sort of weird, open yet jaggedy hairpin. To the outside, this long left-hander. He does just about keep the rears in check. It looked like the car was sort of sliding off the circuit there. High lateral Gs, but he does have it. Bluebell's in, Grandy unleashed, and Todd, poor fella, having just fought off a one experienced race winner in the league. The rookie driver will have to fight off another experienced race winner, the most race-winning driver ever. Indeed. So, and yet no championships. Hilarious. Fox leads. He pitted a little while ago. He has a very, very good lead, and that is a result of staying out on the inters. We are exactly 2/3 of the way through this race. Well, give or take, really. So this will be about a half-hour race. It's not really what I intended, but the show must go on. Grand's looking good. Bloob's not looking too bad. We got Rito into the pit lane now. This will allow Caddo to go sailing through. They have been lapped. That is interesting, actually. Look at Caddo there. Oh, no, not quite lapped. So if we look at Caddo, yeah, he's a little bit ahead. He's got a bit in hand, but he's not on the same lap as Fox. Fox is just not really on the same bit of road as anyone. Todd and Grandy fighting it out still, both on aged hard tyres. Grandy did finally catch up to him and Bluebell. Fox there, Caddo there. They are briefly both on lap 38, so yeah. Quite lapped. Todd Suds, then Grandy, Bluebell, then Caddo. He is ahead of Rito for the time being. He's on worn tyres. It's going to be an interesting fight, actually, between the Frenchman driving for the Filipino team and the Polishman driving for the Polish team. He loves Poland. Pit crew runs in 8th, Corvid in 9th. Another points haul for Furia Roja as it stands. There are very strong murmurs coming from inside the Furia Roja camp that this team will not even, well, they won't last much longer in Ultimate Virtual. Investors are tired of poor performances, and Kamikaze is looking for an out, not even waiting until the end of the season, reportedly. It will be a move done sooner than that, perhaps announced or completed after their home race, which comes up next week in Valencia. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a bit of mid-season drama potentially, but we don't know. And who would take over? Well, it's the question. Corvid, Shiloh, both of them. Somebody else? That's not allowed. But who knows? So it's a chaotic team. They've done 3 really mid-seasons in Ultimate Virtual, finishing 9th in every single one of them. So you can see why investors wouldn't be happy. It's not been a particularly successful team. It's not been a successful venture. They've not tasted much success. Race win here and there, sure, but they didn't get one in Saudi Arabia, which they'll be very disappointed about because they're very close to that. Apart from that, they got Austrian in Imola, Kamikaze in Saudi Arabia, but they've not really had any good runs in the Constructors' Championship, at least, since they were a CV team under the name of Talento Rojo. So yeah. Fox from Todd. It's looking at a Canadian 1-2 at the moment. Todd has had the pace advantage over the likes of Bluebell. Grandy, whoopsie, that's not Grandy, that's Grandy. Yeah, they're all on pretty old tyres now. Fox has pitted and is quite close to Todd, so this would be another convenient time for rain. It won't happen, but it would be. Look at that, 2.3 seconds. I mean, they always sort of get slightly haywire through that final twisty section, but regardless, he's not that far ahead on the track. Fox coming up to lap his teammate Abba, who surely won't make things too difficult, and even takes a bit of grass to let his mate through. Bluebell and Grandy into the pits at the same time. Look at them side by side as they come through the pit exit. Bluebell just gets the lead as they come down the main straight, and now we're going to have heavy rain. That completely takes Bluebell and Grandy out of the fight for second place and puts Todsod into the fight for his first ever Ultimate Virtual win. It would be FVR's first Ultimate Virtual win since Interlagos at the end of Season 3 at the hands of Jiruni. Goose, who does drive for them now, Jiruni has been sacked. Oh! Interesting. Interesting indeed. Rain came, rain goes. We're going to have only a couple laps of wet running before we go back to dry conditions. So we should have a sprint to the end on the soft compound tyre. Definitely too wet for anyone to justify staying on a slick. Maybe an Inter was the choice, but I guess we'll never know. We've got some drivers who've taken 11 pit stops now. That is actually common practice for a race this season. It feels like the rain's been on 50%, but it's only really been on 10. But look at that. 1.3 seconds separate our first and second. It was 15, but now the 15-second gap is from second to third, and third to fourth is another 0.3. Incredible. Rito further back. Caddo looks to have been stiffed by that rain because it does completely wipe the strategy clean. Vaporeon looking to finally get some points for Porsche. Corvid, Pit Crew and Anti looking to get some first race with SFR's new livery. That gap between Todd and Fox is pretty constant. I reckon we'll see everyone in at the end of this lap. In fact, we should see some drivers, yes, like Vaporeon, in already if they are practically a lap down. Caddo will struggle here because he'll have to do quite a lot of running on a dry track with a wet tyre, which is not exactly what you want. That gap is still just hovering around the 1.5 to 2 second mark. Look at them both in frame there. Incredible scenes. On lap 46 of 51. Todsod now does take the lead. That is only because Fox has an earlier pit box. But they're pretty close coming through the lane. There's nothing to rule out. One Canadian taking the win off another in what is a very Canadian season in the league. We have 3 Canadian teams, 4 Canadian drivers. Todsod the only Canadian non-team owner indeed. And look at him, he's so close to Fox. That lead has been whittled away by Fox's strategy. Fox keeps the boost going through the long left hander. Todsod takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix with 4 laps to go. This is going to be intense. Up the inside into the very sharp left hander that precedes the incredibly tight double hairpin final sector. Todd gets that move done, hits the brakes hard and takes that position. Fantastic racecraft from the rookie driver. Never on the podium before in Ultimate Virtual, came so close in Jeddah, but in just his 4th race in UV might be looking at his first ever win, unless Fox, our reigning Constructors Champion, team owner and driver of the boys in orange, who took it home last time out, finishing very respectably in the Drivers' Championship as well. Can he get it back? It's Bluebell v Grandy. This is over 3rd and 4th position. We are well past the normal time frame of a race into the 27th minute or 28th minute of running here. Fox is not going to give this one up easily. That gap was about a second and a half. He closes up going through this final sector. Can he do the same move on Todd? No, he goes wide. He goes to the outside. Kubo gets in the way and that gives Fox the position. Brilliant spot from the Canadian driver who sets his personal best lap while doing it. Advantage Fox here. It's the orange Canadians versus the yellow Canadians. It's a real interstate derby. And it looks like Todd doesn't quite have the pace to match at the end. He's got more tokens. He's got a faster car on paper. But Fox has that experience. He's led this race so much. And he's really going to have that determination not to let this one slip. He won in Adelaide last season. He sets another personal best lap time. Todd Sod is lapping a second slower exactly on that last lap, 1.48. Now the gap, we're on the final lap as they work their way through into the second sector now, and surely that is curtains for the rookie driver. He did so well, he took the lead against the odds here. But unless he can make a magical final couple corners happen, it will be our reigning Constructors Champion getting the ball rolling for his campaign this season. Fox wins the Austrian Grand Prix. Todd Sod 0.77 seconds behind. So close to a first ever win in his rookie season in just his 4th race. So that is his first podium. He'll be delighted. Bluebell for BFX's first points of the season. It's back on the podium for the first time since season 3 of Ultimate Virtual. Grandy misses out yet again. Rito, the Polish driver, will come home for a very solid 5th place for his 2 tokens spent. We'll do the rest of the results now. The fastest lap did go to Bluebell in the end. 16 points for him in BFX. That'll do nicely indeed. That takes them ahead of Porsche, in fact, by 4 points. Rito finished 5th, then it was Caddo in 6th, a decent finish for the Velocity driver. Vaporeon will be disappointed with 7th place, having spent those 3 tokens. Corvid, tokenless, in 8th, finished ahead of Picra in the end, who only took 9th, but it's double points for ThunderX regardless. Just not the best day for them. It could have been more. It could have been a win and 8th. It's now more like 4th and 9th. And he takes a tokenless point for SFR Maserati Corsa. Kubo finishes 11th. He was ahead of Abbo, who had a great start but just fell off in the early to mid section of the race. 12th for him. Shiloh in 13th. She's ahead of Andrews in 14th. Still yet to score points this season, just like his countryman Hetmenica in 16th, with somehow made it between them. Goose finished 17th in the end. Suicide, our race winner last time out, only managed 18th today. Eurus in a Pappy Pop sandwich with Pappy starting and finishing last position. That car is not very good when they don't spend tokens. That is all for today. What an absolutely cracking race it's been. Drama right to the end when we didn't think we were going to get it for the race lead. But we did. We'll see you next week in Valencia, the final race of the first half of the season. Very entertaining track always. Fox won there last season. Can he replicate it? We'll see. For now though, bye bye.